We're live.
Supposedly. What's up, internet world? We're back. Maybe.
So, is it really live? Or is it live once we see it there?
I think it is live, because I don't know exactly what the delay is between
when you hit the
button and you do everything. Yeah.
Maybe one day we'll figure that out.
So,
boom!
Here we go. Yeah.
We're back.
Something like that.
Guess who's back? Back again.
We're back.
Shady's back.
Fashionably late.
Brought a friend. Guess who's back?
Because we're always late.
Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back?
You got a lot of musical energy in you today.
Well, we're talking about music.
I mean, I guess I just wasn't prepared for you to be dancing and singing.
I mean, I never thought of this topic until you brought it up, and now I'm just like, this is so foreign to me, and I'm so interested to hear your opinion.
Okay, that's fine. Press play coming with you here tonight. I'm Michael.
Coming to you.
Doesn't matter, man. I'm getting my words mixed up.
I'm Leroy.
Together.
Even wore a musical shirt.
Okay. I wore a llama shirt because I went to a llama, not a llama. Well, there were llamas there, but it was an alpaca farm.
Nobody cares about those animals.
You're just mad because it's going to be your future.
I'm mad because you can't eat them. And bacon just went up 20%.
I mean, you can eat anything.
That is true.
Yeah. Whether or not people look at you differently is another thing, but you can eat whatever you want.
That is true.
That's on you. Don't look at me. I'm like that. Anyway.
Like when Bugs Bunny used to look at a knife and fork.
Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah, we got a couple of topics we are going to discuss tonight. We're going to talk about the major Hollywood lawsuit between Scarlett Johansson and Disney. It has been settled for terms that will never come out to the public.
Yep.
But I'm curious to know what they were. And we will also have...
Curious.
Who?
Really curious.
Yeah, very curious. And we're going to talk about... What's the other thing we're talking about? Oh, everything is animated now.
Yeah, everybody has an animated series.
One that you didn't realize.
Had no idea.
Didn't. Oh, and I checked it. Yeah, it's in its 5th season now on Netflix.
You're lying.
No.
You made that
Checked it today. I was not. Yeah, I didn't realize how. I think the guy's name is Tony Toretto. I think that's the kid's name.
I don't believe you. I'm looking it up.
That's fine.
I didn't believe you last night, and then I started doing my own thing. So.
Okay, so you didn't go back to check.
No, I got distracted. My baby was up, so.
Okay.
So let's start with Scarjo.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know. You hit me up and was like, yeah, the lawsuit was settled. And I was like, wait, what? And I was like, for real? And you were like, yeah. And I was like, for real? And then I went and looked it up because I didn't know. And I thought it was very interesting. They had glowing things to say about each other.
I mean, what's the old adage? Money talks. You spend enough money, that'll heal a lot of wounds for people.
Yeah, but the way they came at her, man, I'm sorry.
Well, I think it's a thing of corporations always going to look... Generally, a corporation is always going to look bad against a single entity person, right?
This is where I disagree. Well, this is where I think, to me, this was a little sexist. Because they tried to paint her as a money-grubbing, dirty woman, in my opinion. Because they were... And there were rumors that Kevin Feige wasn't very happy with how it was...
With whatever Disney,
how
overall Disney was doing, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I'm very happy to have resolved our differences with Disney, stated Johansson. I'm incredibly proud of the work we've done together over the years, and I've greatly enjoyed my creative relationship with the team. I look forward to continuing our collaboration in years to come. Now, that's from Scarlett Johansson. I expected her to be gracious in her win, and this is what I'm hoping for.
And we're reading this from Hollywood Reporter.
Hollywood Reporter. It is from Kim Masters and Tatiana.
I just realized the way I'm fat with my fat, the fluff is on the fat. It's very nice.
Oh, that's why I try to sit up so Purple Rain doesn't look like Purple Hill.
Fair enough.
Here's Disney's chairman, Alan Bergman, added, I'm very pleased that we have been able to come to a mutual agreement with Scarlett Johansson regarding Black Widow. We appreciate her contributions to the Marvel Cinematic Universe and look forward to working together on a number of upcoming projects, including Disney's Tower of Terror. Which, that ain't how y'all were talking before.
Yeah, but I mean,
nah,
you
son.
give him some cool time.
Nah, son. I better.
First of all, not everybody holds a grudge like that.
Let me tell y'all right now.
Leroy holds grudges.
I hold grudges. I'm old school. I'm old school. Like when you read the Old Testament, I want your entire bloodline gone. I don't want you. I want you. I want your children. I want your children's children. I want your pets. I want the air you breathe. The way they came for Scarjo was Old Testament. They were like, die. And now they're like, hey, we got Tower of Terror.
Well, first of all, I don't think they were that vicious. I
have never heard those words uttered to a person as big a name as she is. They didn't even do that. When we talked about Stan Lee's descendants, Steve Ditko's descendants, they didn't go scorched earth on them, and this is a bigger lawsuit than hers is. Mm-hmm. But they came for Scarjo.
Okay.
I'm talking pitchforks and tiki torches.
Okay.
Am I wrong? Was it not venomous?
I think it was. I think we're quibbling over like small differences in terms of how vicious they were.
But see, that's why I said in language in a lawsuit, if you want to keep working with someone, I would think that you would refrain from name calling and making it personal.
Rayshawn K says over or under that she got $60 million. I say over.
You think it's more than $60 million?
I think so.
I hope she did.
Yeah.
I don't even really like Scarjo that much. Friend of the show. I like honestly, her husband.
I think if Disney was anything, Disney makes so much money. I think you give her a wild type of deal that she says these type of things, but she has some type of NDA where she doesn't discuss what it is, and then she's happy. That way, I mean, some people will know, but that way you make it so big that she's happy, but she doesn't tell everybody else, so nobody else tries to do what she did. Because and now when they do these new contracts,
you're right. Emma Stone was looking to sue, and
I wonder what's going on with Cruella. Yeah,
and she has not filed.
Yeah,
so I wonder if it was like, hey, we need to squash this, because remember again, and this is why I said I found it so interesting that they came so hard at her, considering what she had done and been for the franchise and what you want going later on. What?
I blame. I'm just reading a couple of. D. Steele says I blame Bob Chapek, aka Bobby Chapstick, Jim Hawkins, and referring to everything that you want for people. What about the atoms the people are made of? You want those too? Are you going to want those?
I want everything.
He wants everything.
I want. You know what I want? I want you to blip. That's how angry I get. That's what I said when I have a grudge. Like I have people, I still have grudges to this day. I want a blip. I'm Thanos when I get mad. Okay. I'm like, no, I want. So that's why I was like, for her to come back, because I know how I get when I'm mad, and I'm like, y'all were disrespectful, and I don't even and I'm not like caping up for Scarlett Johansson. I like some of her work. I think some of her work is overrated. I thought Lucy was a terrible movie.
I think most people thought Lucy was a terrible.
It's getting a sequel.
Well, I mean, sure, why not?
So why? It was terrible. It was
terrible movies get sequels all the time.
It was Transcendence or Transference or whatever that Johnny Depp thing was with Chris Nolan's brother or whatever.
Yeah.
It just had so much potential. Anyway, but I really don't like when companies who have the amount of money they have to tune in on someone and just go ham.
Sure.
I didn't think that was appropriate.
Yeah. Do we think, is everything right in Hollywood now in terms of, are we going to see more lawsuits, or are big companies going to now rewrite these contracts to include streaming or include something, or give bigger backing deals?
I think they've already figured it out, because we have talked about this before. The way the contracts and so there's a terminology that I've noticed a change in, and I was talking with Naja, one of our producers here, and I said, if you've noticed the contracts before that Scarlett Johansson signed, Robert Downey Jr., they talked about movies because they didn't have Disney Plus then. Now when you look at what Tatiana Wright, Letitia Wright.
Were you like combining her with Tatiana Maslany?
I was thinking. I said
like She-Hulk. What are you saying?
I literally made She-Hulk and Shuri in one person.
Okay.
But if you look at the contracts that they have signed now, they say appearances, and that's the wording in these articles. When you look at Deadline, The Hollywood Reporter, they say appearances, which leads me to believe you're also looking at the Disney Plus appearances as well as the movies. And let's say your movie, like HBO Max, may not go in theaters. Blue Beetle's going straight to HBO Max. Batgirl, HBO Max. So I think that's part of it. They were smart enough to figure out, going forward, let's do that. They just thought they could steamroll some of these other people.
Sure.
And they found out the hard way.
Sure.
Patty Jenkins, Gal Gadot. I think Denzel got a check, because Denzel was like, the little things should have been in theaters. And he was about to, and they were like, ooh, we don't need Denzel to be mad at us.
Friend of the show, Denzel. It didn't need to be in theaters.
Whoa.
Sorry. I love Denzel.
I like the little things.
I did too.
Did you? Hold on.
It didn't need to be in theaters.
Yes, it did. See, this is the thing, and this is what we talked about before. That's a small budget movie that gets a following from an older crowd. That's not necessarily a blockbuster. It's a slow burn. I would have went to theaters to see that.
But see me I usually don't support, or not support, but I don't always agree with Christopher Nolan talking about the theater is a dying art form and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. But to his credit, all his movies are like spectacle movies that do need to be seen. The Little Things wasn't a spectacle movie. You can see that on the TV and get it. That's what I mean when I say it didn't need to be a movie in the movie theater, in terms of it wasn't like a blockbuster spectacle with action effects.
I don't think you need every movie that you go doesn't have to have a blockbuster effect. I think being immersed in the movie and going helps that movie going experience. I was wrapped up in whether Jared Leto's character did this or not. He was creepy as hell.
He was.
Bravo to Jared Leto. I know we give him a hard rap about playing the Joker, and I think if they would have combined his Joker, whatever this character was, we'd have had a badass Joker. Okay. Because he was very creepy. Yeah. And then Rami Malek as being the overzealous, like, I really enjoyed that movie. Mm-hmm. I would have paid to see it in the movie theater, and I would have been fine. Okay. But I think going forward, they've realized that we can't just say we're going to do something and then steamroll and bum rush these people. That's Denzel. Ellen Pompeo, friend of the show. Stop talking.
What did your girl do? I don't know about this.
Oh, so one of the producers from Grey's has written a book and has been talking about like some of the things that's happened on the show, and has given some of the background. And Ellen Pompeo cursed out Denzel because he guest directed an episode, and she said, "Look here, MFer," and I'm like, "Hey, are you serious? Are you like?"
Here's an unpopular opinion. It's her show.
That's what she said.
It is her show.
That's Denzel.
I don't care. You know what? Don't come into my house thinking you're going to get special treatment.
I understand that. However, I understand that. But again, it's Denzel. It's Denzel. And the thing is, Denzel. This is the thing. There's a modicum of respect you show to someone who has the status of Denzel. And it is your show. Mm-hmm. It's called Grey's Anatomy. Mm-hmm. I love Grey's Anatomy.
You do.
Grey's Anatomy, Denzel.
Here's the thing.
Denzel played Malcolm X, Negro. I don't give two. Whatever you're about to say, you don't curse at Denzel unless it's written in a script from Michael Mann.
I kind of side with Ella Pompeo.
Get out.
Only because that's now if she wants to go and do a movie, you don't do that in the word of Denzel.
He's the director.
Yeah, but
he's teaching you how to act. He's not
teaching you how to act.
Yes, he is, because he was a director. He's teaching people how to act.
He doesn't teach them how to act.
As a director, when you're directing a TV show,
I don't know if I would use the word teach, but
I would.
That's fine. All right, go ahead.
Hold on, please tell them on Grey's Anatomy that the show that you don't watch cannot learn from Denzel Washington.
Don't worry, I'll wait. That's not what I said.
I said teach. So he's directing, and while he's directing, he's teaching. That's what the article said. He was actually, and then she snapped and says, "You're not going to come in here. This is my show." And I'm saying, who in the are you to tell Denzel?
Who is she? She is the same lady that you are in love with and watching all these episodes on Netflix.
I'm not in love with her.
You in love with her show?
I love her show.
That's
Shonda.
not her.
Hold on. That's Shonda's show.
It is Shonda's show.
But
Shonda has also gone on record. We will continue to do this show as long as Ellen wants to do the show.
True, and because the show's name is called Grey's Anatomy. However,
but there's so many Greys on that show now, aren't there?
Nah, they keep dying.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Fair enough. Man, they kill them off like triples.
Okay, cool.
But we're getting off track.
We are. What are we talking about this
episode? We're talking about Scarlett Johansson, man. This is your fault.
It was. It was my fault.
I will, again, this is the thing I say about Denzel, Patty Jenkins, Gal Gadot, all these people.
Hold on for a pause.
Go.
Sandra, come here for a second. Because I don't want you to... This is live TV. This is what we do. So, we're doing something live. I don't want you to stand there forever. But we'll probably be done around 10 if you want to come back down. I don't know how long you want to stand there.
Well, listening to Leroy rants kind of funny.
Okay, then go by all
I got
means.
stuff to do, but yeah, I'll be back.
Okay,
Right.
cool.
You'll be here.
I'll be here.
Yeah.
Okay. So, go ahead and finish your thought.
Warner Brothers found out the hard way you can't just make unilateral decisions and then say,
Y'all, Denzel is a fan of. He is a friend of the show.
What?
I love Denzel. People are coming at me now like,
I'm
no.
just saying.
I got nothing against
this is the
Denzel.
thing,
I'm
'cause
just
this is the
saying.
thing.
It's Ellen Pompeo.
Because this is the thing. Ellen Pompeo was proud of what she did, and it's like, boo boo. No.
Okay, maybe.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I feel like maybe you have your moment and then you just.
and then you
keep
let it go, and
Yeah.
then she was like, no. I stood up to dent, and it's like,
I'm like, well.
it's like,
All right.
Do you not know how this is going? How you go look?
I don't
Come
know.
on now, girl, calm down. And that's what. And again, AC says it. She wouldn't have been disrespected a white director like that. And
I don't know that.
we don't know. We don't hear any reports of her standing up to anybody else because
We don't know who else came to the show.
we know a lot of. So when Debbie Allen took over as one of the executive producers, the show has a shift as far as Debbie Allen said, I want more women directors, I want more people of color, and she changed some of the music because if you notice, if you've watched the show, there was like a lot of the soundtrack. I will say this: Grey's Anatomy as a show for 18 years, it is.
I do know the music is very
The
good.
music is very good, but there was a shift. So you heard more John Legend, you heard Beyonce, you heard Audra Day. I don't know how many other
Denzel. Go ahead.
people they brought in, but personally, whether you agree with him or not, you still have respect to Denzel, and that goes back to the Warner Brothers thing. You don't just tell Denzel, "Hey man, hey Denzel, what you doing? Hey man, we about to push this button. Little Things is gonna be on HBO Max. All right, man, later." You know, like that. You don't. And what I'm saying is, they perform these things going into it saying this is for the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you want it for a smaller screen, that's different. Mm-hmm. And then I might have handled this movie differently. I might have taken more risk with this performance. I don't know. But that's disrespectful to people in their craft to think that you can just, we'll just put it anywhere.
Now, I agree with everything you're saying. And I'm not defending them, but what I will say is these corporations don't have souls.
No, they don't.
So they don't care.
Because they're not people.
They're not people.
Heard that, Mitt Romney? You heard that? Friend of the show, Mitt Romney?
Man, if we could get Mitt Romney, wow.
Son, could you imagine us doing? We watch the original Star Trek with Mitt Romney, and then he tells us what was going on when that movie came out and where he was in his life. So, Leroy, the Utah Olympics was going on.
To be fair, we kind of had that idea with an older white gentleman. Would have been Jim Gandy.
Yeah, but
CBS shot that down.
CBS shot that down.
That would have been a cool idea. It just didn't work.
The problem is Jim ain't got Mitt Romney money.
How do you know?
I know. He told me. He was 2008 hurt him.
Okay, fair.
I'm surprised he's not.
All right. We're not getting to people's finances.
He was upset, son.
We're not doing that.
He broke some stuff down to me.
Okay,
I was like, "Ooh, Jim, you need a hug?
moving.
Can you adopt me?"
Keep it moving. Okay, fine.
But you're right. They have no souls,
right.
And we know that. But what they do recognize is power and money. Mm-hmm. And I think they thought they could get over on Scarjo, and then they realized, she can start a movement. This woman's got a little bit of power. So I'm glad to see that they.
Side note: somebody's talking about AT&T, and that got me. Is AT&T in your neighborhood putting fiber lines in?
I don't know because
I got a little thing on my door saying they were putting them in, and I've seen people working, but I still can't get fiber yet.
I don't know because
should I get fiber?
Yeah,
let me know. I should get fiber.
If you could, yeah.
Okay. Well, there we go. They'll respond.
If I can get fiber, anything. I want Google Fiber though. I know that works. I've heard great. I give a body part for that.
Okay.
Can I give a finger? I give a thumb? No, not a thumb. I can't play video games.
Yeah.
Part of my liver. No, I need that.
Fantastic. Yeah, you do.
You sound like Katie.
Just saying.
We were watching Grace, and I was like, "Is a liver that big?" Because they took it out, and she was like, "Yours probably isn't."
Reeks of booze. Anyway, what else? We got anything else on the lawsuit?
No, I think that's about it. So what do you think? So I think somebody said in the chat, I can't see because I can't pull it up on the larger screen. So someone said about 40 mil.
Okay, yeah, somebody said 40 mil.
Okay. What do you think it is?
I said over 60. I mean, I don't know how numbers work. Somebody like me, you give me $1 million and I'm happy. So I mean, 40 million, good for you. You know.
So I'm happy for her. I really am.
Antoine Allen says Disney gave in when Russo brothers said they're not going to do another Marvel movie, and Kevin Feige stepped in. I would be curious to know if Kevin Feige had anything to do with it, because you remember, I don't know if it was true or not, but I remember like when talks broke down between, I guess maybe Marvel / Disney and Sony about Spider-Man, and I think like Kevin Feige kind of talked and like
some things,
and like Tom Holland kind of talked.
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember that. Those people were like, let's make this work.
Because you were one of the people who was not jumping on. You were like, this is not hyperbole, but you were one of the people who was like, it's Spider-Man and Marvel. Like,
I was thinking they'll figure it out.
Yeah, you were very much on the side of they will figure it out.
Yeah.
Because I was like, well, what if they don't?
Spider-Man
and Marvel, and they take it from
what a world that would have been.
And Sony was like, we're just doing anything.
Because I can't even chat. Go back with us for a second, and I'm just as we just maybe we'll get to these topics. I don't know. You know what you signed up for when you came to our channel.
That's true. This is your fault.
It is your fault. Partly. We love you, but it is your fault. Go back to a time. If you can remember, I can't remember. Was Tom Holland guaranteed to do a third movie even before the contract and stuff was going to happen?
Not to my knowledge.
Y'all let me know, because I was like, because I'm thinking if we had gone under the road, maybe we wouldn't have Tom Holland in what's it called? No Way From Home, No Far From Home, Far. Because I was like,
I call it Home Alone. I call it Spider-Man Home Alone.
Sure, whatever it's called, whatever the third Spider-Man movie is going to be called. Yeah, I'm just that's wild to me to think.
So they said that it's echoing. So let me see.
Whatever the third Spider-Man movie is going to be called. Yeah,
I'm looking at the chat. They said it's echoing bad. Sounds like you guys on delay. There's some background voices. I'm looking at the chat. They said it's echoing bad. Sounds like you guys on delay. Did that work?
I don't think that would matter.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
So
Leroy is clicking something and suddenly there's an echo.
So, you know what? Here. If I can get this mouse to go back, I click that. Where'd the mouse? Bring that mouse over here, man. Click on speakers there.
Oh, I can't even get it to work. What am I clicking?
All right. How about now, guys?
I don't know.
It's gone. Yeah, it's good again. Okay, that's my fault. I was trying to make sure. I was trying to bring up.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you for letting us know.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Let's go with music while you play a video game. Michael brought this topic up to me, and I honestly had never considered it until he said something. So you tell them about the music playing video. This is so foreign to me. I never thought about this.
Little behind the scenes, and you guys can probably figure this out based on how organized we are. When we come up with these topics, it's usually the day before, and sometimes the day of, just because of our schedules. So we were talking about what we were going to talk about tonight, yesterday, and I brought up this idea to Leroy, and it wasn't a big idea. It was just a thing of what type of music do you listen to when you play certain video games? Because the example I brought up to him was, and it was very foreign and kind of weird, but when 50 Cent's first CD came out, what was it called?
Get Rich or Die Trying.
Get Rich or Die Trying.
He had a lot of, that had like 9 number ones on that thing.
That was a great CD.
He had Candy Shop.
You don't got to name them all.
I wasn't, because I don't remember all of them. I just
Great.
know there was a lot.
But yeah, anyway, I used to play that CD. Wow.
Kim from Chicago said, now we can hear Michael insult Denzel clearly now.
Good. Great. Let's put the echo back on so you don't know who it was. Anyway, when that CD came out, I used to play that, and I can't remember which came out first, but for some reason, I would play that CD while playing Super Mario Sunshine on the Nintendo GameCube.
Really?
That's what I did. And it wasn't like you would hit certain points in the Mario level and they would sync up to the beat. It wasn't that. It was just something about hearing that music. It was just a way for me to zone out while playing that particular Mario game. I brought that up to ask Leroy, are there any other type of examples for him of a game and a different music genre or whatever.
I have never actually done that, which is so weird because I never thought about that. Like, I've heard of other people syncing up music to different things because we've seen that in movie trailers now. Mm-hmm. We've seen, like, perfect example is Call of Duty. Call of Duty will take a song and sync up the gunshots, the sound effects. Battlefield, the first one did it with Seven Nation Army, and I've seen that.
And you got the Atomic Blonde commercial was big for that. Baby Driver. I was about to say Driver, Baby. Yeah. That's not it, but Baby Driver was big on that.
But I never thought about playing. And Rayshawn K is right. You could so consoles will allow you to play music while you're playing your game. But that, I'll be honest with you, I've never done it, and I'm not knocking it. It just blew my mind that people aren't listening to the music created for the game while they play the game.
And
we wanted to ask everybody in here. But is that something all of you do as well? Because again, this was foreign to me. So
so I wonder if some people would see it as maybe disrespectful because you're not listening to the music composer, the tracks are made for that particular game. Yeah. Oh, y'all gonna make me the bad guy now? Okay, that's fine. We're gonna do this training day style. That's fine. That's great. I love it. Y'all gonna come for me? Okay. Yeah, because I was thinking, I don't do that for every game, for sure. Like, I can think, more recent games that I've been playing now, God of War, Red Dead Redemption 2, games like that, those big, sprawling, open-world games. I listen to those soundtracks for sure. But it was something about, I know Mario music is good and I wanted something different, so I was like, let me just apply on something else. And maybe it was the idea of this harder, more aggressive music while I was playing something cheery like Mario. I don't know. It just worked for me. Because
I know, like, when you said you played Tetris, you changed the music. You would mute the actual music that was up there and then put something else on. IMAX, you said certain games. Let me know what games for you. Excuse me. Carlos de Leon says, when I was little, I would play The Verge while playing Turok, so I didn't get scared. I mean, I've heard of that, people playing other music because to offset whatever it was that they were playing. I heard a lot of people did that with, I think, if I remember now that I'm thinking about it, people did that with Dead Space. They would play something else because the way the game was set up, it was so eerie and so creepy. And I'm like thinking back, it's foreign to me, but something I wouldn't do. But it's not something that, it's not so crazy no one has done it.
And I guess it's kind of similar to the idea of sticking with the horror stuff, right? A lot of people, they'll maybe watch a scary movie in the daytime. Yeah, it's a little bit. It's a little bit easier to digest.
Certain movies I ain't watching at
in
night.
The daytime as opposed to nighttime. Yeah, so I get that.
Yeah.
Donald Duck. I've never seen Donald Duck in the chat before.
Welcome.
Don't know if that's your real name or not, but hey, that's cool. I mean, I've done it when I replay that. When I replay, what? I mean, I've done it only when I replay. Replay the game that I've already finished. All right, there's that word.
Ryan Porter brings up interesting. Call me crazy, but I love gaming. The retro '80s Euro Central Pop, Tears for Fear, Duran Duran. I love '80s that everybody wants to. I will put that on when I'm reading. Like when I'm doing that or if I'm cleaning. But I just never thought about doing it when I'm gaming. And something I'm like that music may go along with something. I may try it.
I mean, another good example is, I know it goes back to somebody brought up about being able to change the custom soundtrack on Xbox, but a lot of times you have like these hard hitting aggressive songs when you're playing a racing game or something, and maybe you switch out the whole soundtrack and put in something different while you're playing. But yeah. Side note, Brian Gamer, was that you that said last week that you had sent me a message about what your Xbox gamer tag was? Because if you did, I checked my PlayStation and I did not see where you sent me the message or what your gamer tag was. So, there we go.
I think it was him, but...
Yeah. I guess that would make sense because that's the person I'm friends with. Yeah, it had to be Brian Gamer.
Anyone remember GTA San Andreas on the original Xbox? You could put your own songs on the radio stations. Jim Hawkins is right. I do remember that you could be able to do that.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I loved about Grand Theft Auto, even though I didn't really play it that much, is that the radio stations were so unique, and
those are good soundtracks.
And so, like, I think that's interesting. I just never thought about doing it, and it's something now that it's like we keep talking about it. It's like I want to see if it works. Did you think you played better with the music, a more aggressive soundtrack?
It wasn't a thing about being better. I just enjoyed what that was. It wasn't like I was trying to be better at the game. Because again, it was definitely I don't know if I would do it in a game where I have to concentrate super hard. But Mario games, for the most part, are relatively easy, unless there are certain levels you're trying to do. But you can kind of, it's almost like, we were talking about it last night as well. When I play the new Tetris Connect game, sometimes I'll put on like podcasts or something else, because Tetris, you can kind of just zone out, lining up your blocks or whatever, and listening to other stuff. So if it's a game that I really have to concentrate on, I probably wouldn't do it. Like maybe if it's a Twitch, I don't know.
So you mentioned like God of War, Red Dead. They're not doing it on those games because the soundtrack is so. Because you've bought soundtracks before.
One of the first CD I ever bought was No Doubt's Tragic Kingdom, along with a friend of the show, Vanessa Diaz. I think that was her first CD too. So we
because you were one of the people who was okay with No Doubt song being in Captain Marvel. The I'm just a girl. Like I hated that.
I was like, great. That was the first CD I bought. Second CD I bought, or second and third CD I bought, I'm pretty sure were like video game soundtracks of like maybe Star Fox 64 and Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Yeah.
So I bought, for as far as game soundtracks, I bought Death Stranding, the score.
Mm-hmm.
I bought Deus Ex, the first one. I own that digitally. I own Death Stranding, I think, on every full. I think I own that on vinyl and digitally. A lot of movie soundtracks too. So I do Daft Punk's Tron Legacy, and I have played that. Wow, did I play that while playing a racing game? I can't remember, but just some of it is just so.
Yeah.
But yeah, like most of the soundtracks I like and I listen to, and I have actually purchased if it's a good soundtrack. I think maybe a Metal Gear Solid, maybe one of the Metal Gears I bought.
Mm-hmm.
I know, not Cowboy Bebop, but Ghost in the Shell, the series, first standalone complex and second gig. I have the soundtracks to both.
I get them back to you?
Yeah, I made sure that was
okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Can't remember. Hey man, you should let me borrow those again. I don't think I finished them.
That will not happen.
I didn't finish those, man. I need to.
I'll let you borrow Evan for that.
Man.
Nope.
All right.
No.
Anyone remember the Thief games? Oh, Jim Hawkins. I love the Thief games, man. Those were great. I would like for them to come back. I don't know I feel like that studio is still around. Maybe they changed their name. I don't know what they're working on.
Isn't Thief the same studio that turned into Obsidian?
I don't know.
Thief, because isn't Thief made by the same people who did Prey and...
I don't know. I feel like Thief was like Eidos for some reason.
But didn't Eidos turn...
Maybe they just published... I don't know if they like... if they were the company behind it or not.
Hold on. Thief game, PS4.
Yo, Ryan Porter. I know a lot of people, or some people, are not excited for the live-action Cowboy Bebop. I'm very excited. I don't know. Did you see the trailer that they did the side-by-side with the live-action versus the cartoons?
So supposedly the what you're talking about is the intro. That's not the trailer.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah,
yes,
I have
yes,
not.
The intro,
I have
yes.
not. I've refused to watch it only because...
I was excited.
I want to see it and be immersed.
Okay, cool.
It's one of those things where I'm happy for the live-action.
Yeah,
it was Square
that
Enix.
intro was great. Yeah, so Eidos. Okay. Square, yeah, okay. The most recent Thief game was like, what, 2014?
Yeah.
That was at one point an Xbox Games with Gold, and I got that. I never finished it, but yeah.
Hold on.
So Eidos Montreal, so that's the people that are doing Deus Ex. They did Marvel's Avengers, so maybe, I don't know. Guardians of the Galaxy, which people are kind of liking. And then they did
Deus Ex Mankind. That's Mankind Divided and Human Revolution. That's the soundtrack I have. Human Revolution.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, they did Tomb Raider games.
I literally just said that.
Oh, you did? I didn't
Yes.
hear that. All I heard was.
That's my words. So yeah, I mean, again, short topic about the music stuff. Just wanted to bring it up for a second.
So here's the one that we were talking about that Michael hit me up with. And because I was thinking about it because somebody mentioned, because I put this out here for a reason. So Super Crooks trailer dropped this week, which I thought was very interesting that Netflix canceled Jupiter's Legacy, where this book takes place in the same universe. So basically what Netflix did when they bought Miller Worlds, the rights to Miller World, they decided we're going to make Jupiter's Legacy. Mm-hmm. They only greenlit one season and canceled and said we're not doing a second one, even though it ended on a cliffhanger, and greenlit Super Crooks, same universe, 2 different genres. One was a series, live action. This is an anime, and it started getting me thinking, and I was like,
now. You said anime. You mean like an actual anime or just animation?
It's animation, but it's anime.
It's an anime. Okay.
It looks like an anime.
Okay, cool.
So it got me thinking, when did it get to where everyone has some type of animated series in conjunction with their franchise? And I'm not talking like Attack of Titan is an anime and they got a live action. I'm talking
Attack on Titan. I'm trying to save you from the people. Attack on Titan.
I don't care.
Ducking for cover.
I think
racist people coming for you.
I think it's overrated.
Okay.
I tried.
Okay.
I know Grace tried to get me on it too, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I tried. I just couldn't get into it. I couldn't. And I know people regale the series, and I'm just like, it just didn't hit me.
Not every anime is for everybody.
But what I'm saying, so it's Attack on Titan?
Pretty sure it's Attack on Titan.
Okay. Just
now you got me. Now let me look at that. I mean, I was pretty positive until you said.
So the thing is, what I was talking about was, it seems
Yes.
everybody has an animated series to go along with their franchise, and I was like, you can pretty much pick the series that doesn't have an animated series.
Bond.
That's what I was Bond, because I was thinking Fast and the Furious, and then I was wrong about that. You were like, it's 5 seasons. I was like,
Fast and
dirty
Furious.
liar. That's
Fast
not
and
true.
Furious has a franchise on Netflix.
Bond, Harry Potter. Help me out. I don't know.
That's probably about it. I mean,
No, there's definitely more.
I'm sure there is, but
Because what I was thinking was, I was like, Kid from Chicago, I'm not a fan of naked giants attacking towns. Because that just like, let me take that back. It's not that it wasn't for me. I just didn't like the fact of seeing people getting eaten like that. And I was like, this is disturbing. And it wasn't for me. Sure. I'm not saying it was bad. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about it because I was like, with Netflix and some of the other series.
Hold on for a second.
Yeah.
I need to get this off my chest. People were talking. Somebody's comment. What was it? Nobody has a good animated block anymore like Adult Swim. I miss Saturday morning cartoons, and that made me think. It was a Fox block cartoon. Mm-hmm. It was a cartoon called Mad Jack the Pirate. I really enjoyed it. I feel like nobody else watched it. Just curious if y'all watched it. Keep going.
But it got me thinking. I was like, everybody. Oh, Carlos de Leon. I am not watching Chainsaw Man. I saw the manga for that, and I was like, oh, that looks disturbing. His head's a chainsaw. I was like, what is going on here? I was like, who greenlit this? I was like, that's Nightmare City. It's not that I think it's gruesome. It's just that it just didn't.
You didn't vibe with it.
Maybe one day I may try to go back.
You don't have to like everything.
I do want to see.
We've established if we have not established at least one thing in our chat, everything ain't for everybody.
True, but it has. It's one of those things where I was like, it has a good following, and I do want to see what the hype is about, and it supposedly has a good story. Okay. So I love a good story. I just got to get over that whole, naked people swinging, knocking over towns with their little, their lower regions, and then eating people. But think about it, Blade Runner. Mm-hmm. They got 2 movies. It has an anime. Altered Carbon, which was canceled, has an animated movie. Star Wars just embraced anime, but Star Wars has always embraced animation.
Sure.
Star Trek has always embraced animation.
Yeah.
And I was like, all of a sudden, animation is not the that it used to have. And when did that change? Why did it change? Is it because
I think go ahead.
I'm asking. I don't know.
In my opinion, 2 things. Somebody said it in the chat. Mm-hmm. For the most part, animation is generally going to be cheaper than live action, so that helps. Also, in this world of like transmedia, everybody wants to be on every single thing. I think it's just a way for people to expand their brand. I mean, think about it. There's an animated version of us on this channel. It's not a cartoon, but it is an animated cartoon, version of us. We're on a pamphlet.
Yeah.
You realize that?
Yeah.
You thought about that?
Yeah.
They put us, these two schmucks, on the back of a pamphlet in animated form. So I mean,
yeah,
it's everywhere.
Management was drinking that day.
I mean,
obviously under the influence.
Yeah.
But yeah, somebody brought this up. The Boys doesn't have an anime yet, or an animated show yet. Give it time.
I don't give it time.
And I, like honestly, when you think about it, The Witcher has an animated movie. You really can look at everything and say less franchises has an animated version than more. So like you name an a franchise, it has an animated version to it.
Yeah.
Or an animated series and I was like, is that and they're not for kids. Lower Decks is not for children. I would wager, and come at me if you want to, I would wager Clone Wars might have started out as a kid's show, but it is not a kid. It is not like an 8-year-old. To me, Clone Wars, some of the subject matter that they tackle, to me is more of a middle schoolers type show.
Sure.
I would wager some of the animes we're talking about is not for children. It's animated, but it doesn't mean it's for children.
Carlos de Leon says you guys will be VTubers soon enough. We don't make enough money to have VTube versions of us.
What is that?
Oh, you don't know about VTubers?
No.
It's and I don't know enough about it, but it's a thing now where people have like cartoon or animated versions of themselves, and they use that to talk instead of being on TV. It's a thing.
Nah, y'all will see me. If I got to see this face, y'all got to see it too.
it's a big thing.
I'm putting this everywhere. I don't like it.
And I don't know the actual term, but are you familiar with Hatsune Miku?
No.
Okay.
She's
an animated character that has had concerts and stuff. It's very weird.
Like the Gorillas.
You know what? Yeah, kind of.
Because I have no idea what the Gorillas really look like.
Yeah, I couldn't. If they were standing in front of me, I would know they were the Gorillas.
Yes, I wouldn't know.
Nope.
So, but this is what I want to ask Rayshawn K. Younger generations grew up loving Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, all that other stuff. But those people who grew up with those things are not making business decisions.
Sure.
And so that's what I'm saying. Like, in order to greenlit millions of dollars, we're still not at the point where a Spider-Man movie like Into the Spider-Verse is making the same amount of money as Homecoming, Home Alone, Far From Home,
sure,
Home on Tatooine, whatever. But I would wager, and this is just my personal opinion, Into the Spider-Verse to me is the best Spider-Man movie of all time. And
I would agree with that. I wouldn't fight that.
To me, Into the Spider-Verse captures what being Spider-Man is all about. More so than any of the other movies, live action included,
sure,
to me. And it did not get, it's a cult favorite. It got a sequel, it won an Oscar, but it's still not up there. But it does seem like we are getting a lot more animated things for these franchises. And I'm wondering, when did that happen?
I think it's a combination of what you said, and somebody brought it up that a lot of the kids have grown up now and they're in management roles.
Yeah,
they're not like us two just sitting here on YouTube. They're in like they're CEOs of companies and stuff. And I don't know how old Kevin Feige is, but he grew up to be a fan of the Marvel stuff. He's running Marvel movies or MCU stuff now. So I mean, those people are in those roles making that stuff. So I think that's why you're seeing a lot of cartoons and comics and all this stuff, and you're also seeing a lot of, and it's been this way for a while. But in the video game sector, you're seeing a lot of retro games come back now. People doing 8-bit and 16-bit. One, because it probably is easier to make that than a full 3D game, but also those people grew up liking those games, so now they're trying to emulate what Shigeru Miyamoto did and whoever. Like, oh, this is my idol, so let me make a 2D game that he did.
So that's what I was looking at. I was like, I really am interested in getting everybody's opinion of like what they want to see, because that's what the conversation I was going for when we were talking about Harry Potter. Should Harry Potter dabble in anime? Like, to me, a very good Harry Potter animated series would do gangbusters.
Sure.
And we talked about the fact that it's probably J.K. Rowling who's in the way of that. Because, let's be honest, Star Wars is being shaped by its animated series. People love the animated series more than they love all of the movies. universally, Clone Wars is loved more than the 3 prequels or sequel trilogies.
Think so?
I would wager. I think people love the Clone Wars and Rebels more and love to see those characters come to live action versus. And I'm not knocking Rey or Finn or Poe, but it seemed to me more people were more excited about Ahsoka coming to live action with Rosario Dawson and in The Mandalorian, the Death Watch lady, Starbuck. I'm trying to remember what her real name is.
Oh, Katie Sackhoff.
Thank you. Her coming to live action and Grand Admiral Thrawn coming to live action, and those were animated characters that were created for for these animated shows. People were livid to see them.
Talking in terms of money for, we were talking about like whether or not animated movies make money. I don't remember how much it did, but I kind of remember an article somewhere saying the Demon Slayer, what was it?
Demon Slayer
Banks,
Infinite Train movie?
Yeah, Banks 757. Demon Slayer Infinite Train movie that person brought that up. How much money did it make? I don't know, but I feel like I remember an article saying it did very well.
Well, Dragon Ball Broly did well when it was released.
Yeah.
That did really well. Those animes did well. But yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, Star Wars is being led by its series, and the fact that Mandalorian has done well is partially because they've brought in some of the animated characters into that series. I wonder if any other series could do that. I got a feeling Lower Decks is great. I could see them casting people to be Boimler and Mariner, and them making the leap to live action.
That show, and again, as somebody who doesn't know all of Star Trek canon, what I gather when I watch the Lower Decks, the people that created Lower Decks have a love of Star Wars.
Oh yeah, Star Trek.
Sorry, don't come at me, Star Trek. Have a love of Star Trek because you can hear it when their characters talk about ancillary events that happen in Star Trek universe, and they love to talk about Riker all the time, especially in the second season a lot, in terms of like, Riker was such a badass, he did all this stuff. So I mean, I could see people being cast in live action versions, and I almost feel like maybe you get the voice actors that do it.
I mean, Boimler's already is Huey from Boys.
Yeah. And
Mariner
Tawny
is Tawny Newsom.
Yeah.
So yeah, she could. She definitely
actress.
could play that person.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if that's the way to go. More franchises taking animation seriously and letting it show. I don't remember exactly who said it, but it was in the chat. You can do more with animation.
Sure.
So maybe go in a different route in your franchise, and then see where you could go, and then see how your fans respond to that chapter in that universe.
And I don't know in terms of programs, whatever. I know it's so easy now, especially with smartphones, to make live action movies. But even if you can't draw, there are so many programs out there that you can make animated stuff that I feel like it's a lot easier now to get into animation, even if you can't physically draw that well. And I think there was a big kind of uproar a few years ago about this like SoCal animation style, and I don't know if it's SoCal. It was something people were, maybe it was UCal, I don't know, whatever it was, but they were upset because some of the animation doesn't look as crisp as some of the other stuff.
I know that argument
like,
you're talking about, because Adult Swim seems to greenlight a lot of that.
Yeah, like Adventure Time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
People didn't like how it looked. They thought
that's
it
been
was
a real big problem on people. I would definitely say you bring up a very good point.
But even with that, I feel like that's a small minority because that stuff does gangbusters.
Oh yeah,
it does well, and that seems to be an easier style to draw or maybe emulate than other more technically proficient styles.
So I want to answer. So Banks Star Wars animation is working because they allow Star Wars to move away from the Skywalker saga. I want to say it was Kim from Chicago. Grand Admiral Thrawn, you are correct. Timothy Zahn did create the character for the expanded universe, and then they got rid of the expanded universe. And Thrawn was one of the major characters that the foils people loved. They loved him so much. They were hoping Thrawn was the villain for the last trilogy that came out. I say Dave Filoni is a very big part of that. But the fact of the matter is we can't discount that it's animation that Dave Filoni was allowed to play with and allowed him to rise to be the person who's kind of shepherding along with Happy. I can't remember his name is.
Favreau.
Thank you, John Favreau. It was animation that allowed him to do that. If you remember, one of the things that I think people are so upset and still upset with Warner Brothers is because we've got the Dark Justice League when we literally had a blueprint from Bruce Timm, and I cannot remember his name. I'm sorry, he passed away. He's one of the founders of Icon, Rocket, Static. And his name is escaping me right. Dwayne McDuffie. Ooh, thank God I did not forget his name. If you go back and look at The Dark Knight, the Batman Animated Adventures, Justice League, and then Justice League Unlimited, you had a blueprint. I don't know how you didn't take that blueprint and then expand upon that with live action. Because that was what people wanted in their Justice League.
I think that goes back to, I said it before, that people that grew up on this stuff are CEOs and executives. Maybe some of the executives at Warner Brothers didn't grow up on that stuff, and they were still under the impression that, oh, it's animated, so it's a kiddie thing, so it can't be live action. Not realizing, no, it can be if done correctly. So,
yeah, and that's why I was saying, talking about how animation is a vehicle for your franchise going forward. Carlos de Leon brings up a great point. Animatrix, Batman, the Dark Knight, the animated anthology came out. Some of those were amazing. Did you ever watch that one?
The Dark Knight anthology?
The one where it was like different Japanese animators, and they had like Deadshot was fighting Batman. Oh my God!
Where's that at? Is that on HBO Max?
I think it's on HBO Max.
I have to check it out tonight.
It's amazing.
Okay.
I know a lot of people didn't like Teen Titans. Teen Titans is freaking hilarious.
And it's which one?
The Teen Titans Go.
Because I enjoyed both series. I think Teen Titans did something very interesting where they had an original cartoon I thought was pretty good.
Yeah.
And then they went like a chibi style animation, and I thought that was good too. And I think both series were good in different respects.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Teen Titans Go has some of the slammest songs.
The movie was fun. I enjoyed the movie.
Son, when they did the movie on Krypton, when they did the song on Krypton, and they actually I was rolling. Or my favorite one is when Beast Boy explains what pyramid schemes are, and creates a pyramid scheme. To this day, hands down, one of the funniest things ever.
Okay.
So that I guess that's what I'm saying. Like, we have talked about our love of animation, but then it's like we looked around, and every franchise has an animated series.
Jimmy Bond.
As in, like...
James Bond. Because there was like a young James Bond type thing. I don't know if that was a cartoon or live action. Chat, let me know. Or was that a fever dream and I just made it up completely? I don't feel like I did.
If you did, you better get with the broccoli.
You're right. Jimmy Bond, let's do it now. I feel like that was a thing.
Yeah, man. You better copyright that before somebody takes it. Yeah, that was one of the things I wanted to talk to the chat about, because they're right. We grew up with animation. We grew like Japanese animation filtered into this country bits and pieces, and then it was fire. It took over. And then it allowed for things like Power Rangers to come over. It allowed, a lot of us, for the older people, a lot of us got our start with Robotech. A buddy of mine, he's always I cannot remember what their name. The Ronin Warriors. For me, it was
Ronin Warriors.
For me, it was Robotech. That's how I remember. That's how I got my start. Johnny Quest is literally the blueprint for the Venture Brothers.
Yeah,
and it's like,
did you see when they rebooted Johnny Quest? It's okay.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm not. It's not a major revelation. I was just curious if you saw the reboot. Yeah.
Yeah, if you go back and look, Gundam. Go to look. Shameless plug, not for us, but Dan Larson does a very good Toy Galaxy. Go check out his video about the history of Gundam. It brought up some things that I forgot, that I didn't know, and some things I forgot. And he does a very good breakdown. Of like how this, like the history of this, and he does a very good job on Gundam, Robotech. You name it, he does it about these animated series. And you're right, we grew up with it. It was just so surprising that I was like, Super Crooks, a franchise that was part of a franchise that it literally the live action got canceled, and the anime's out, and people were really liking the anime.
Okay. That's it.
Yeah.
That's our hour and change.
Yep.
More like 58 minutes or 54 minutes when we actually did it, but
yeah.
Y'all know how we do.
We did cover all our topics. That
we covered all the topics in our time.
Well, one question I do want to get. I want to throw something at her, but there's glass right there, so it doesn't matter. And all I would do is be damaging whatever I threw at her.
So go ahead.
What did you think about Blueprint being acquired by PlayStation?
Bluepoint?
Is it Bluepoint?
Yeah, like Blueprint. You mean like the Jay-Z album?
Whoa! What if?
We don't have time for that topic. I think that was great because they've worked with Sony in the past with Shadow of the Colossus and then doing the Demon Souls. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping they will finally be able to do original IPs or new stuff and not just remakes and remasters now. So, yeah.
You didn't mind that it seems to be there's an arm race of everybody gobbling up studios?
I don't care.
Really?
I got both systems. I don't have no allegiance in the console wars.
I would have thought you might have wanted like somebody to be independent. That's all I was saying. Like you don't. It doesn't matter to you. Like gobble them all up and let the big two. Okay,
yeah, that's fine.
I was just wondering. I saw it and I was like, I didn't really too particularly care about it. It didn't really float my boat. I don't play those hard games that make you curse and drink and scream.
Sure.
And Shadow Colossus is beautiful, and I just like to watch people play it.
Yeah. What got you through the week?
I hate saying this.
Grey's Anatomy and Warframe?
No.
Oh.
Grey's Anatomy and Last of Us 2.
Oh, you're playing it again?
My betrayal has. I had to. Some time had to pass. If you guys haven't played The Last of Us 2, there was a shift in the game. I'm not gonna give it away for those of you who haven't played it.
Mm-hmm.
There was a jarring shift. I have never felt as betrayed by a game as I did in this game, and it took me a while to get over. But through the work of Grey's Anatomy, I've been able to forgive.
Okay.
And let go.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm playing it again, and I will say, I can see why it got Game of the Year, man.
Okay.
It's a revolutionary, like I recommend that game for everyone.
Okay. What got me through the week was Yakuza Like a Dragon
mm-hmm.
and Foundation. I'm enjoying that show on Apple.
I have not started it yet.
It's good.
I started Why the Last Man.
Okay.
I had to turn it off. The plague scene,
mm-hmm.
a little too real.
Yeah, I can see that.
A little too real. If you guys haven't watched or heard about Why the Last Man, Brian K. Vaughan, all the men die, women take over, one man's alive, everybody's hunting for him. They're trying to figure out what killed off all the men. I'm a guy, and I'm gonna be honest with you, we had our time.
Sure.
But I'm gonna tell you right now, it's a hard watch because they set you up too. They're like, here's his mom with her 4 boys, and you're like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like a shot of like this little girl in the car with her dad, and the car crashes, and like everybody's dying around them, and you're just like, you know it's coming. And if you've read the book, you know this happens. But to see it actually on screen,
mm-hmm.
especially during COVID,
yeah.
Oh, it's a hard watch. I only got through the first 2 episodes, but yeah, that was
all right.
It's pretty good.
All right. That's it for us. We're wrapping up. We'll see y'all guys next Friday. Thank you for joining us. You can always find us here on YouTube, also Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, kind of WOTX.com when we post stuff.
I haven't posted anything recently.
I mean, it is what it is.
I want to, but I just hadn't had time.
Yeah, fair enough. We out.
Deuces.
Peace. Sign us out of here. You gotta do that?
Yeah, if I can get to the screen.
There you go. And then hit that. And then you hit that.
Boom.
There we go.
Done.
Yeah, and then go.